All right, here's Saban talking about Game of Thrones. Set this up.
All right, so Nick Saban ends up being a human. Here is Nick Saban on season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, I love it. I mean, it had to come to this. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. That's the way it always goes. Everybody's probably got, somebody that they're rooting for, which is how it goes too. So it'd be interesting to see how it winds up.
I never thought that I would agree with Nick Saban on almost anything, but I too have loved season 8.
I didn't think Nick Saban watched television.
Neither did I.
I didn't.
An hour a week?
That's
more
that's
than
a
that.
lot, dude. It's 8. They said he watched Dexter back in the day. Dexter's not a good show.
See, but
that makes sense.
That makes a ton of sense.
Makes a lot of
No,
sense.
thank you. Dexter's not a good show.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were about to come at me with Dexter is a good show.
No.
Yeah, but Nick Saban
Watching-
liking and
yeah.
watching Dexter is right on brand
That's
to me.
so weird.
I agree with
Because
you.
he's a
mean?
sociopathic
It
murderer?
feels weird.
Exactly.
Sociopathic murderer.
He's
Yeah,
just great
absolutely.
at what he does. I assumed that he
Still
would never
smokes cigarettes.
touch something like that.
But he's cerebral and dissects and
Right,
just things
and
like
just
that.
very
Yeah, I mean, it
cold
makes
and
sense.
calculated.
Exactly. Yes.
Like LSU fans, we got Ishmael Sopsher. We're getting Ishmael Sopsher. They're going to get the defensive tackle from A-Meat. 12th hour, he just comes in. Ishmael signed with Alabama.
Pat Surtain.
Well, listen to him talk about Thrones a little bit here. It's Statement 3. Does he use any Game of Thrones in pregame speeches?
Oh, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned in that. I know it's a fictional type, show, but you sort of get attached to the characters and some of the perseverance that they go through and some of the things that they do because they are actually competing, with all the sort of wars and things that go on. So it is kind of interesting. I haven't thought about it from that perspective, but I will since you mentioned it.
How about that? See, that's why I watch it. He relates everything back to football. The ability of characters like Sansa to overcome adversity, to persevere in the face of adversity.
So some of the stuff that I've heard about Game of Thrones through some of the Game of Thrones crowd is that the White Walkers are kind of like Alabama football. Like they're the best. They're the best, but they've been knocked out.
They were.
Yeah,
They were.
right.
They kind of crapped a bit. They were like Alabama in the national championship last year.
Okay,
a little
so
bit
Saban
this
was
season.
asked about the White Walkers.
But the White Walkers were the bad dudes, man. I mean, if we were recruiting, we would go north and try to recruit some of those guys.
I mean, he never stops. He's going to get the White Walkers now.
Okay. Now the question that everybody wonders: Crimson Imperator Saban, who will end up on the Iron Throne?
I don't know. I think some kind of way Jon Snow's going to wiggle his way in there, even though he won't try. It'll just end up that way.
Now, T-Bob, do you agree with that?
Is he going to wiggle his way in there?
I don't, because I think it's a bit too obvious. I think if you want a character that killing them would create the largest possible impact, I think killing Jon Snow would be like a hammer blow.
See, now that
to a
we
lot
know
of
that he
Thrones
watches
fans.
Game of Thrones, I'm thinking who's better at predicting narrative structure? Is it Nick Saban or T-Bob Hebert? I think Nick Saban. I'm going to listen to him here.
Yeah, no, I mean you might be right on that, Nathan. But yeah, shout out. I never thought me and Nick had anything in common, but we're both apparently in the minority that likes season 8. I love it, dude. People are melting over season 8, and I've had nothing but fun with it. I think it's been great every week. I've loved it. And I'm just sitting back and kind of enjoying watching everybody freak out.
Yeah, that's your usual play, though. Kind of other side, especially when something that you like.
No. Last season, though,
Pretty typical play.
last season, the majority didn't like it, and I was with them. I didn't love last season.
I don't even
had
remember you saying that, though.
You what?
I don't remember you talking about
Oh,
that,
I talked
though.
about it plenty. I had major
Was
problems.
there a last season?
What? Yeah, season 7, 2
No,
years
this is
ago.
the first season.
It was. Okay. But yeah, 2 years ago,
God.
in season 7, I didn't like it. I had major issues. I, in my opinion, I just thought that they've bounced back in a big way this year. But that's fine. Look, everybody can go yell about whatever you want to yell about. I'm just looking forward to Sunday. I think it's going to be awesome.
T-Bob, what does this do now for Song of Purple and Gold next year? Now that you know that Nick Saban's into sci-fi.
He doesn't get any credit. He doesn't get any credit.
I don't
Is
know. I
Orson
think,
Ron
I
a
think
big
you
Game
could
of Thrones
really,
guy?
he could really do some strong character
Wow.
building here with the Crimson Emperor.
I know, no. Crimson
Save
Emperor
those bites in a folder. We need to have those bites in the folder.
The
for,
Crimson
Song of
Emperor
Purple and Gold.
is still evil personified. He is the Night King and then some.
His
So-
his recruiting net expands to fictional lands.
That's true. You know, maybe that's where we throw it in. He recruits some sort of like zombie monster warrior.
Is he recruiting you? Is he flipping you?
I think
no
he is.
chance.
Swamp Bob?
No chance.
Let's
Swamp
get
Bob.
Nick Saban on and you
chance.
just ask him fantasy questions. I would love that.
No chance. I would love that too.
If we land Saban on Media Row at SEC Media Days,
Yeah.
we just keep the questioning to nothing but Game of Thrones.
I would be okay with that.
Be dressed as a
I'm
Night
going to go out
Walker.
on a limb and say that that's going to be everybody in every interview he does for the next couple
Probably
weeks. So he's probably going to be nice and angry.
That's
by
why
the
you got to
time we
go
talk
in
to
with
him
one of
about
these
it.
You know
books
what?
that you're reading.
We're going all Dexter with him.
No, please. I'll do anything but
Mikey
an all
Mock took
Dexter.